Alright, here I am again. Justin Relay with more Lichess. Or just chess. Doesn't matter. It's just chess. Different app. There's a bunch of apps. Bunch of websites. Who cares? Anyway, tried the Scandinavian defense again. This time it came down to the wire, and I had it in my hands, and then poof. Just like that. But this time, they played something I did not expect. Something that was a possibility the entire time, but anyway, you'll see. Here we go. Let me show you. So you want to go down to games. And you can see I got kind of obsessed with the final position because I play a bunch of these. What this means is I play the computer, see Stockfish versus myself from a position. So I would pick a position and play it, and play it, and play it, and play it, because I just got obsessed with this. Here's what happened. So we'll start from scratch. I'm going to try to wing through this because I got other stuff I need to do right now that I want to do, like sleep, for example, but I want to get this out of my head, so best way to do this is come to grips with the fact that I lost. Accept my fate. Accept my noobishness. So, again, I'm the black dudes, he's got the white dudes. He opens with King's Pawn. Awesome. Great opening. It's probably like one of the recommended ones for white. Scandinavian with pawn to d5, which basically looks like an error, right? Looks like a mistake. The computer says, "Nah, that's fine. That's a that's a very bookish opening, I guess. I don't know. It's okay." What's he do? He takes the pawn. No one that I've seen so far takes the pawn. Because you can do this. Does that bother him? No, because he does that, which is the next thing you do. Which is the next thing you would do. Chase the queen. Why wouldn't you chase the queen? What do? I retreat. All the way back. Why? I couldn't think of anything better to do. So that was the problem. So now he has a knight developed and I don't. I have nothing developed. I just have a missing pawn. And so does he. So he's leading. Okay. See this computer analysis? He's got +7 on me. Or sorry, 0.7. What's that mean? It means he's doing better technically. According to the computer. So I develop a piece to attack the pawn. No big deal. He attacks. He pins my horse. That's fine. I don't care, I guess, but don't pin my horse, please. He defends his pawn. That's fair enough, that makes sense. I want to push his bishop off me. Look, the guy's just like me. He's like, no, I don't like your horse. I'm like, fine, I don't like your bishop. So, develops a horse. Nothing wrong with that. I push a pawn because I think I wanted to make room for my bishop to develop, I guess. Attacking my queen. Thank goodness I saw it. I defend. Apparently that's an error. He goes to protect his bishop, just in case, I guess. I don't know, whatever, right? Instead I swoop in and take his horse, right? Remember, I don't like horses. They're not my favorite. He decides to take my bishop. Cool, I'll take your queen. He takes my queen. Then this happens. In retrospect, I probably should have just taken it with my rook. So I develop my knight now after he develops or takes my piece back. Right? I take his bishop, he takes my bishop. There you go, horse moves out, he castles. I kind of lift my knight up so it's in pouncing position on his knight. His knight doesn't care, and I go, okay, cool, no problem. And things go downhill from here pretty quickly. Although according to the analysis, I stay ahead of the curve for a little while. But at this point it's late, I'm getting sleepy, it's like, what do? I don't really know. So, let's just control the open file, right? That's the recommended thing. Control the open file. You want to be the guy on the file, so that's what I do. Yep, no big deal. Attack me, cool. I'll take it. He takes 2. Oops, that's alright. Why do I move up? I think I want to. Yeah, I want to double my. I want to double up my rooks on the file, on the E file, but I don't know. Did I have a reason for removing my king? I forgot what it was. Okay, pushes a pawn, cool, whatever. It's really, in my opinion, kind of hard to tell what to do in these situations. He moves up his king, trying to get his king into the game. I double up on the E file, hoping to get some kind of attack going on. What that was, I don't know. I thought I had something, I guess not. At this point, it's mostly just pushing pawns, hoping to maneuver them into a nice position. So there you go, I got my little diagonal pawn structure on the right-hand side. My left-hand side pawn structure has not been touched at all, period, but that's okay, I guess. I don't know what he did that for. He can't touch my rook yet with his king because it's guarded, so hey, no big deal. According to the computer, that's a mistake because I don't even know. I backed off. Why'd I back off? Because I don't remember. I just don't remember. At this point, I know what he's doing. I think I have an idea what he's doing. So I think what he's going to try to do, he was going to go ahead and try to trap one of my rooks, I think, somehow. I don't know. So I'm like, nah. Let's get this over with. He takes, I take, he attacks. Computer says, do that. Well, I think the computer's wrong, so I take. He takes. According to computer analysis, he's plus 0.5. I'm starting to falter real badly here, guys. Really badly, according to the computer. According to me, I'm not doing too bad. But I do realize one thing. His pawns are much more developed, which means he's closer to getting queens. I'm not. So my first pawn push was intended to help me out a little bit. He advances. I advance. He advances again. I get nervous. Apparently he blunders. I don't know why that's a blunder, but I guess it is. Apparently that's a blunder too. But instead of taking, he advances, which is pretty good. It's a good idea. No arguments there. I pushed a pawn just because I needed something to do. I have no idea what that's doing. That was supposed to be my idea of, if you take my pawn, then I take your pawn, and hey, cool, right? And it worked out just like I planned on it. Then he pushes a pawn, and I think I had to retreat because I realized that he would have had a passed pawn. In other words, a pawn that's going to become a queen, no problem. So, but I don't know, I just didn't get in front of it, but I think I had a better idea. It was getting kind of scary though, so... But he pushed his pawn, which, you know, isn't going to work. And then, you know, see the little arrows here? That's the computer telling you that's what he should have done, is move over there. But, you know, hey, we don't see those arrows when we're playing, obviously. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, this is a defining moment. At this point, if I move up any pawn, that's it, I'm dead. Well, what do I do? Move a king, right? Gotta move my king. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? He's gonna go here. At this point, I thought I had a brainstorm. Like, the best brainstorm ever, period. Let's move to the right and start tackling his pawns on the right-hand side. And he's gonna have to go like this. So I'm gonna go here. And he's gonna have to go here, then maybe finally here. And take 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 moves to grab this pawn. I don't know why I thought that. He had it in 2 moves. I should have saw this. 1. Boom. Apparently a blunder, I guess. I don't know. Hey, what do I know? He takes. Cool. That gave me some time. I take. Makes sense, right? Then boom, I'm like, wait a second. Oops. It was actually at this point... It was actually even before this point that I realized... As soon as I moved, I'm like, wait a second. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Thankfully, he plays my game a little bit and actually does take my pawn, which was okay. The only thing I could do at this point was move up and continue my plan. He clears his path to get his pawn queened. He starts moving up his pawn. I start moving up my pawn. He ignores my pawn and starts moving his up and continues moving his pawn forward. I'm like, hey, cool. Take. Which was apparently a bad idea. And I'll show you why in a couple moments. Boom, boom, boom. I didn't see the diagonal. I didn't see that it was on the same diagonal. I pushed it. And that's when I said, you know what? I surrender. That was it. I was done. So, if we go backwards though... So, when I moved up here, instead of him taking my piece like so, and then me doing this, then him doing this, and then me, you know... Because it could have gone like this too, I think. It would have been the same ending, though. But the computer had a different suggestion at this point. The suggestion was, since he chose to ignore my pawn, I could have done this instead. Queen, queen, and then notice it's no longer on the same diagonal. Now we have a game on our hands. But that's not what happened. Instead, I go to the right and attack the right-hand side pawn structure with some awesome idea to start knocking out pawns and take the advantage. And technically, the computer still says my position is 0.1 better than his. But now it's not. Now it's even Steven. Now he's in the lead. Now, technically right now we're pretty even Steven, but it takes one move. One move and watch. The bar swings plus 60 in his favor. I'm dead. That's it. It's game over. And that was it. Game. So anyway, what else here? So, finally occurs to me that at this position, instead of going to the right, I should have went to the left. So this is Stockfish level 4, though. So Stockfish level 4 is kind of weak. You'll notice he doesn't play very well. I realized I had to abandon the pawn. But notice he kind of dilly-dallies around instead of getting right to business. See that? So that's no good. So finally I do this. So this one came out well. This is Stockfish level 8, much better. But the point is, I realized too late, I needed to go to the right, or sorry, the left, not the right, with my king. I needed to guard the g6 pawn by moving king to f6. Something like this. Notice he's much more aggressive and more intelligent at this level. But at this point, not enough to take on what I had here. At this point, it's the ladder mate, and that's game. So anyway, but I just I got so fixated on the fact that I had lost, in my opinion, by such a small margin. Obviously, there was room for defeat as well. Like, I could go this way, and then he could maybe... he could still crush me. Now look at this, see? He's got me pinned over here. Like, what do I do? I don't know. I don't know how to get out of this. See, now he's making a break for it, and what do I do? Nothing. I'm dead. That's it. He's getting a queen first. This game's much closer, but it does demonstrate the fact that if I made the right move at the right time, in my opinion, king to f6, as opposed to king to d6. So that's what I had. That's what I should have done instead, right here. Not to suggest that the king's making the correct moves either on the computer side, but you get the idea. At this point, it's kind of back and forth for a couple moments. Then finally, we have boom, boom, and then queen. And then it's kind of a little game of cat and mouse. This I can win this, obviously, at this point. That's no big deal. And there you go. But it just goes to show you, though, that you can do something so simple. Okay, just something so simple. Again, so we get to this position, no big deal. I have it under control as far as I'm concerned. But now it's like, I've got a choice. What do I do? You know? So we get here. Now he's got a move to make too. Like, if he moves his pawns, he loses a pawn, right? If he does this, I just do this, for example, right? That's no big deal. Um, he knows that as well. I know it's coming down to make the wrong move, you're dead, so I know that as well. So obviously he knew what he was doing, and I should have known better too. But of course I had to go to d6 because I thought I had this all figured out. And for half a moment it looks like it, but then you realize, according to the analysis, we're basically neck and neck. And he's gonna win the race. And I'm not. And although the computer does say if I just went forward, like so, we could have both had queens. But, that's not what happened. I had to take the pawn instead. And then he takes. That's it. You're not winning this anymore. You're not winning, I'm not winning this anymore. It's not gonna happen. So anyway, yeah. That's it, guys. So hats off, realistically. I mean, gotta give a big thumbs up to Musa 19 for giving me this great game here. Instead of, like most people, right? They come out, you know, they go, okay, the Scandinavian, not that they know what it's called, but I do. But instead of taking it, they do this, right? I've seen them doing this all day long. And suddenly it'd just be like, okay, cool. But no. No, he throws me a monkey wrench, right? And does this. Which really did result in a really interesting game, in my opinion. A lot of action. A lot of fun, quick piece trading. I mean, considering we're on move 15 and we're already this far advanced in the game, I mean, look at this, right? By the time we trade rooks, okay, by the time the rook trading begins, we're still on move 25 technically. 26, 27, okay, move 27, the rooks are gone. We're in the endgame. That's it. We're well into the endgame, in fact, apparently. So, and even in this late stage of the game, this guy gave me a great game. Musa 19 played like a champion. And to be very honest, I was really afraid he was going to win, and he did. And if, in my opinion, if I had played at this juncture, if I had played instead, at this juncture, instead of going like I did, king to d6, I should have went king to f6, and it might have been a different game. I might have came out on top, I don't know. But that's just, hey, proof positive, guys. It takes one move to turn a game around in chess. And there you go. Thanks for watching. Questions, comments, and constructive criticism down below. Thank you very much. Be polite, please, and thank you. Otherwise, I will Thanos snap your comment, poof, out of existence because I don't tolerate rudeness on my channel. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Watch where you put your king. It does make a difference. See ya. This has been me failing at using a Scandinavian defense. Or maybe it was just me failing to move my king properly. I don't know. See yas.